Hello, and welcome to The Third Act, an educational podcast for entertaining audiences like you.
Theater for the middle class.
I'm your husband host, Jared.
And I'm your wife host, Gracious.
Thanks for being here.
I love that you had to add a little laugh and ha, thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming on down for The Third Act.
My dear, how are you feeling on a scale of melting to sparkling?
I knew you were going to ask me this question,
What?
and I
It's
didn't
like
even
it's
think
in
about
the script or something.
Today, I am feeling punchy.
Punchy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think it's going to take much to
I know.
put me in fits of giggles.
I know. We decided to start this episode by like listening to one of my pump up songs, and I'm also feeling quite I'm feeling jivey.
Oh,
Yeah. Like, I'm just-
It's true. We did have a dance
Yeah.
party before recording this episode.
Having a
so
good
sorry
time.
if I'm out of breath. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, what's been going on with you,
Jivey.
man?
What's been
happening,
going on
dog?
with me, man? With me, man, I've been writing, prepping for March.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh, I had an audition this last weekend,
did?
and I got a call back for this upcoming weekend.
You did.
And it's a dance callback, and I am scared out of my mind. Dancing is the thing that I am least confident in. So,
Here's the thing, folks. She always says that, and then every
I-
time we go to a dance call, she does just fine.
dance calls are so scary. Well, it's like you have to remember so many things immediately.
I will say, we have been to some crazy
Some
dance calls.
crazy dance calls.
That, like, we had no business being in. And then for some reason, they said, yeah, that's good. You can go to the next level. And then it got harder. We're like, please cut us.
I
We
think
don't need to be here.
I always have a nice smile, so they keep me. But
I don't know. It's just
man.
like, we're a bunch of singers, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we're here to sing. We're here to look pretty. Please stop asking me to kick my leg over my head. I can't. I assure you.
literally went to college for theater, and I have a concentration in vocal studies and no dance training.
Just let me sing.
No dance training. I had a little bit of dance training in high school, but I haven't. I mean, that's on me.
Sure.
I'm going to get more dance training this year. That's actually one of my goals.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get it. But like right into the fire for a dance call.
I know.
For one of the shows that they're doing this year is a chorus line. I do not feel like I fit into a chorus, but you know what?
That's probably the one you're going to get
We were talking about how crazy it would be if like one of my first regional credits is a chorus line. That would be insane. But
we were also talking about, like, maybe we should invest some time, energy, and thought and make dance our superpower. Like, make it the thing we're the best at.
Right.
What a crazy flip.
That is
would be.
actually my plan. I'm going to.
Oh, that's your plan. You've adopted it now as your plan.
Yep. Yeah.
News
Since
to my
that
ears.
conversation, that's my plan.
All right.
I just need to feel more comfortable.
Sure.
And I think that only comes from doing it.
Sure.
So I'm going to do it more. Because that is the thing that I've probably done the least. Well, because I usually get cast as the ingenue who isn't involved in any of the big dance numbers.
Sure. Usually not.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know, like, I watch great dancers and I go, wow, I want to be a part of that circle. I want to participate in that arts, right?
Dancing looks so fun.
Yeah. Well,
It
and
is
because
so fun.
We talked
It's
about
just
that
not something that I'm.
a character in a musical talks to express their thoughts. And
Yeah.
when they can't talk, they sing. And when they can no longer sing to express their thoughts, they dance. Right? It's the progression. Yeah. And so it almost feels like we're missing that third step of the progression.
Yeah. I'm going to get that. I wouldn't say I'm a bad dancer by any means.
Again,
I would say I'm a
she's good
strong
dancer.
mover. But I'm just not as comfortable with the dance.
Sure.
For sure. So wish me luck. Keep me in your prayers. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's what's up with me. What's up with you, babe?
I got a job!
Woo!
I found a job. Actually, it's a job I was very excited about. I was going to say I auditioned for them. That's not right. I interviewed last week, got accepted this week, and I start next week. So I am super excited.
It's awesome.
Pays well, all the benefits. Love the job. Yeah, looking forward to it. So
so exciting.
Unfortunately, that does mean my term of unemployment is ending. And I'm trying to wrap up multiple projects that I started thinking I had more time. One of those projects includes, I am currently sewing a bucket of hearts. I got some fabric and I've been sewing little hearts. I stuff them with stuffing and we've been using them as decorations for Valentine's Day. And what started as a really fun project, I'm now drowning in hearts and I have more to make and do because I cut them out. So I got to finish them, but I didn't realize, and I just kept cutting and cutting and cutting. I was like, all right, let's
You really
sew.
should have counted or something.
Right, so I'm drowning in hearts right now. Poor Gracious has been heart attacked probably once a day where I'll just, everything I finish sewing for that day, I just bundle up my arms and just throw at her. Because, they're fabric stuffed hearts. They can't hurt. So doing a bunch of that.
They're really cute.
Yeah. Can't believe I'm going to say this on a podcast. I got to play dress up yesterday.
You did?
I have an upcoming event that is Alice in Wonderland themed. And I was supposed to put together an outfit. And they were really vague about what to wear. So Gracious was very kind and literally dressed me up in like 5 different outfits yesterday. We took pictures, submitted them. And I know what to move forward. So I played dress up yesterday as an adult grown man with credit card debt. It was fun.
You didn't have to tell them about the credit card debt.
Everybody's got credit card debt these days. It's fine. It's how you live. And I don't know. I'm a little bit sad because I'm wrapping up like this section. February was my month and like we're wrapping up. So now I'm just gonna have to do a bunch of writing and nobody will want to know what I'm writing about until like come April. So there's a little part of me that's a little bit sad. But you know what? I'm going to be okay, guys. It's okay.
And it just means that you don't have to have immediate deadlines, which is nice.
True. So to anyone who was offering good thoughts, positivity, and good vibes my way, thank you so much. It has paid off.
It has.
I have found a position I'm very happy with, and I think I'm going to be in for the next few years.
Yay!
But I could use a little bit more because I am looking at colleges for my master's program. So if you have a little bit more smidgen of good vibes to send, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. That's what I got. Anything we need to tell the peeps? I think we're good, right?
I think we're good. Yeah. I made our big announcement on Instagram so that you know what the new plan is. We're going to get one of these every week. And this is kind of our first ever specialty episode.
Yeah.
Do you want to kind of explain what that's going to look like, Jared?
I do. I wanted to take some time today to discuss a technique in theater. Because if you came here looking for business techniques, you are listening to the wrong podcast. There are a million to choose from, but today I wanted to touch on the topic of picking up the pace of cues. What is a cue? Thank you, audience member listening at home. A theatrical cue is the trigger for an action to be carried out at a specific time. There are a lot of different types of cues in theater, right? These can be grouped as lighting, sound, set, prop, video, line, action, and I'm sure there's more.
And the stage manager keeps track of all
Every
of them.
single one of them. Today, we're talking about line cues. The American Association of Community Theater, which, by the way, all of my references will be down in the comments, defines this as the last words of one actor's spoken dialogue, which the next actor to speak needs as a signal to begin. When actors leave dead space before beginning their lines of dialogue, a director may ask them to pick up your cues. Lines, overlapping lines.
So the idea is that you speak immediately after the other person.
That is correct.
Yeah. I know our director in college was really big on picking up cues, and he would always describe it as breathing while the other person is still talking, so that you're ready to talk immediately when they're done.
Yeah. If you're willing to indulge me for a moment, because I'm a nerd, I have a little history tidbit for you on the history of cues and scripts. The American Shakespeare Center, which exists and I've been to. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
You should go pay him a visit.
In Stanton?
Yeah. Yeah, go pay him a visit,
That's the one
guys.
you're talking about. That's awesome.
They spoke on this topic, saying that back during the Elizabethan era and Shakespeare times, Q scripts were used both because of the high cost of parchment at this time and also to ensure the concealment of the prompt book. Given the proximity of the playhouses in London during the early modern period, acting companies were competing for audiences and thus revenue. Q scripts were a way of ensuring that one actor could not sell his copy of the play to a competing playhouse or publisher, as he was only ever given his own part of the script.
So they were literally given like their cue line and then their line, and that was it.
Correct. I've included an example for you down below. But yeah, no, I just thought that was fascinating. I didn't know that. Probably because I'm not trained in Shakespearean theater.
Oh,
but
and they only got the end of
Yes.
the previous person's
So it
line.
might
They
be
didn't
one
even
or two
get the
lines.
full line. So you wouldn't even know the context until you're in rehearsals, really.
So
Wild.
they go on to explain that this required a certain mental dexterity of the actor, as their cue scripts did not specify who said the line before them. So they needed to be aware of everyone speaking. Their cue line could come from anyone at any given time. That would be killer.
And you only get like one or two words.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
So grateful that we as modern actors are entrusted with full scripts. If you're looking for an example, I've included it down below from Hamlet.
Please don't go selling your full scripts or they'll make us go back to this time and we can't have that.
Please be good actors. We are privileged. That's really funny. Just as a fun little tidbit, I think I researched it a little bit too deeply. I found American Shakespeare Theater Center. I found like a PDF for a course that I think they'll teach. Like, I think they'll have kids from schools come in. They give them cue scripts and they like practice.
Oh,
Anyway,
wow.
and so it's like the whole lesson outline. It was really fun. I was like, dang, one day I want to try that. Just as like an exercise, right? So, and it was fun. It was an exercise for picking up cues.
Right.
Because you have
cool.
to be attentive and ready.
Extremely attentive.
What effect does this have? You may be wondering, and I'm so grateful for you asking that question. Picking up your cues, depending on the scene and depending on the circumstance, can do a lot of different things. And I have a couple of examples that I wanted to share with you, and Gracious has some that she wants to share as well. In the play, which we've already talked about, You Can't Take It With You, there are rapid fire entrances, overlapping chatter, and plenty of interruptions. All the chances for picking up cues. This demonstrates to the audience that the Sycamore family values authenticity over politeness. The speed of the lines creates joy and laughter. This family works because they don't slow down for convention.
Yeah. They're not slowing.
Absolutely not.
For anything.
Another great example is the play Noises Off. It's hysterical. Go check it out. Lots of overlapping dialogue. Farce requires momentum. Less time to think often results in funnier jokes. Consequently, this show uses its dialogue to generate anxiety and fear of what's coming next.
I think
Keeps you on your toes.
momentum is a great word to describe it, actually.
Yeah.
Like picking up cues keeps the momentum going,
Right.
which is why it will work for not only you mentioned two comedies, but it also works well in tragedy, just as like a general principle. Even if it's not written as overlapping dialogue, you want to be able to pick up immediately after you left off.
This is true.
A couple of examples I have. They're more musical examples. There's Sondheim musicals. Sondheim loves the overlapping chatter.
Yes, he does.
Remember when we talked about Company? That has a lot of dialogue, sung over dialogue. Characters are finishing each other's sentences, or they're completely trampling over people's sentences. They're not listening to each other. And that emphasizes that modern relationships are noisy, they're contradictory, and that allows the audience to feel Bobby's feelings of just complete overwhelm.
Yeah.
That he's not confused because he doesn't know what's going on. It's just that everyone is talking at the same time. So that's one example, but really all of Sondheim's musicals are that way. They're very, very quippy.
I agree.
Another musical, which isn't written by Sondheim, is next to normal. That the PBS.
Oh,
Do you remember when we
yes.
watched the
It was
PBS
so
version
good.
that just came out? That was amazing. And that one is not a comedy. It's actually a family trying to survive among a lot of chaos in family circumstances and mental illness. It is interesting because at the beginning of the show, there's less overlap and there's less overwhelm. And then when things get difficult, it's a lot of people talking over each other. It's harsh, it's quippy, and it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
It's reminding me of, I watched a video a while ago about Greta Gerwig's Little Women.
Oh.
She's the director of the 2019 film Little Women.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how she wrote the script and how she decided to write it as realistically as possible. And she found that in order to write a family as realistically as possible, it was a lot of people talking over each other. And so the script is just full of someone having a line and then someone immediately having a line, or three people having a line at the same time.
Sure.
And they just kind of had to rehearse it that way. That's literally how it's written.
Yeah.
Because she felt like that was more realistic.
You're talking
writing.
about scenes where they're in the house,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where there's 5 different activities happening at the same time. And so there's 5 different
Right.
conversations.
And they're
happening
sisters, so they're comfortable with each other. And usually when you're comfortable with someone, you're not as
because
careful.
then it slows down when they're in polite company,
Yeah.
right? If Meg goes to the ball, all of a sudden everything's nice and orderly.
Mm-hmm.
Or if Joe is talking with Lori, everything's nice and orderly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I never put that together, but you're totally right.
Yeah.
That would that would have to come down to the way that the script was written.
Mm-hmm. So the script is literally written that way, kind of like when we were talking about Almost Maine with the railroad tracks.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you first and foremost, as the guy that has sat in a show where picking up cues was not important, the effect is a very boring and a very monotonous show. So pick up your cues.
The other thing to be said, pauses are extremely powerful, but they're only powerful if they are specific and if they are meticulously placed. Like if there are pauses all over the show, they're not as important.
I've heard it said that if you want to insert a pause, you have to take that time from somewhere else and you have to pick up somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, like, your show's going to run an hour. You can't take a bunch of pauses and stretch it out to an hour and 15 minutes. You got to pick it up somewhere else if you want to hold a little bit longer somewhere else.
Well, and I know a lot of directors are always trying to cut the show down. The show is always running long. You know this as an actor. Like, this always happens. And one of the best ways to do that is to pick up cues.
I think we don't give our audience enough credit because we're like I would do this all the time in high school. I would just assume my audience was dumb and they wouldn't pick up what was going on. And then, thank goodness, I started asking questions and I got curious. No, they knew more about the show than I did because they were seeing it packaged
Right.
as a whole, whereas like I read it as a script and then in rehearsal. So my version was very fragmented. And I was 16 years old at the time. Obviously, the 64-year-old picked up on it. Anyways, audiences are very aware and very intelligent.
They're smart.
You can talk fast
You need
and
to
they'll get there.
trust the audience. You also need to trust the playwright
True.
that they
True.
put enough in that will allow the audience to understand it. Like
Yeah.
that's the playwright's job. That's not your job as a singular actor to spoon feed things to the audience.
Yeah. You know who had something to say about this?
Who?
Sanford Meisner.
Oh, that
You
guy.
know that guy? If we were to look at all the theater greats, the most likely to speak on this topic would be Sanford Meisner himself. Picking up cues is central to his teaching, and he had a lot of things to say on the matter. If we were in rehearsal, he would say something along the lines of, "You don't pick up your cues, you pick up impulses." In a guide to the Meisner technique, it talked more about this subject, saying that the Meisner technique teaches actors to let go of personal biases and past experiences, instead relying on raw instinct and genuine emotional responses. A key element involves focusing on the other actors in the scene rather than yourself, allowing for more natural and authentic reactions.
Mm-hmm.
Gracious, can you think of a time where you have seen this technique, this effect, play out in real time?
Well, I really think that if someone is attentively listening to what someone else is saying, they are going to have things to say before the other person is done talking. This is how people talk in real life. This is how we think in real, right? You just said to something that I said because you have a thought about what I said and you're going to say it. So as soon as I'm done, you're going to say exactly what you mean, right? People something I've been learning is that humans are pretty self-centric. We are big fans about talking about ourselves. However, we will stop and listen to other people.
That's really funny.
But when we listen to other people, we are taking it in through a filter of our own experiences in order to process what they're saying and come up with a response because we feel that it deserves a response, right? So while they're talking about themselves, we're processing it. And we usually can come up with a response before they're done talking. So we don't even necessarily listen. Like, even if you're actively listening, you're not necessarily listening until the end of that person's thought, right? And that's how interruption happens. That's how picking up cues works. Like, you're waiting patiently until someone's done, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I had this thought. Like, 3 minutes into what you were saying, but you talked for another 2 and I've just been sitting with it and I'm like, I'm ready and you're done. So I'm going to say it. Yeah.
No, I'm just laughing. I've learned to be patient with all my ADHD friends.
Your
otherwise
wife,
they're going to explode.
Your ADHD wife.
I wasn't going to say, I have other friends as well. Yeah. You got to let them speak. Got to give breaks. Otherwise they might just explode on you.
Right. Something in this same vein, something that I really like to do when talking about picking up cues is to mark where in the previous character's line my character gets the idea for the response.
What was it that triggered?
Yeah, what was it that triggered the response? Because sometimes it's the last thing that the character says, but
especially
sometimes
if
it's
it
early in
ends
it.
with a prompt. That's what I'm thinking.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That right there is already what's prompting the person. But it might be something that was said earlier.
Especially when it's like a monologue and then you have a response to the monologue. Like, where in there did you have the idea to respond? And what are you responding to exactly?
One of my favorite, this is just as a side note, has nothing to do with anything. And it's because I did it recently. White Christmas. Bob is trying to monologue. I realized it was going to be a monologue, but they've cut it up because Phil keeps interrupting him to the point that Bob literally has to go, let me finish, finishes his sentence, and then doesn't talk for the rest of the scene because Phil kept interrupting him. Anyways, it's like one of my favorite little moments. Yeah. Like, oh, it's so real.
Well, because again, people are self-centric and they want to talk about themselves, or even if they're talking to someone as I talk about myself, even as they're like talking about someone else's problem, they have experiences that they want to share.
So true.
Which is okay. I think it's just real. That's how people are.
It's how we do be.
It's how we do be.
That was really well said.
Thanks. It was a lot.
I was thinking about it, and actually, hold up. Let's redo because our lines are super close to each other. I was thinking about it, and because I was looking for an example. I think that Almost Maine is a really great example of this. Picking up your cues, these overlapping lines, and it building energy, building the comedy, building the idea, right? We've talked about this before, so this is just a repeat. Almost Maine employs a lot of very specific overlapping dialogue. You'll see a symbol of railroad tracks, like Gracious mentioned earlier. It will appear inside a particular character's line. It simply means that the next character to speak should begin his or her line where the railroad tracks appear in the speech of the character who's currently speaking. It's in the show. It's written into the script. It's literally baked in. Something, we've already touched on this before, but now we're going to be explicit about it. Active listening is key to all of this. And it's probably the most factor at play here, because an engaged, focused actor who is living in the moment and watching their scene partner is likely to react authentically. An actor who is tired, checked out and disengaged is much more likely to just go through the motions and drag their lines.
Yeah. Well, and that's Meisner's whole thing, is acting on impulse and being authentic in the moment.
Yeah.
Makes sense that he's the one who came up with it.
We're a theater podcast. You want to get into this? Want to get dirty in the theater?
Dirty in the theater.
Want to get down in the dirt?
Down in the dirt.
Almost Maine, folks. Act 1, Scene 2. The scene is called Sad and Glad. Lights fade up on Jimmy, sitting alone at a table in the back corner of Almost Maine's local hangout bar, the Moose Patty. He's nursing a couple of buds. He's a well-meaning guy, but clearly sad and in a rut of some kind. As the scene begins, he bumps into his ex, Sandrine. He's hoping for a second chance. The conversation goes a little something like this. Jimmy. Sandrine!
Sandrine. Jimmy!
Hey!
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 Hey! How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Doing good. Great. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Great.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
You look great.
Oh.
You look great.
Thanks.
You do. You look so great.
Thanks, Jimmy.
So pretty. So pretty.
Thanks. That scene is super awkward.
Very.
I think and the repeating of yourself and everything is just, yeah, it's so good.
I think it's important. It's the introduction to this scene, right? What did I say? Act 1, Scene 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're still early on in the show, and it's helping to set the scene, get the energy right.
Well, this is setting the scene, because this is the beginning of the scene.
And, well, because I don't know, if it was two people that were able to explain themselves well, then it would be nice. But because they're awkward and uncomfortable, we're awkward and comfortable, it's the beginning of every sitcom ever.
Yeah.
Right? She bumps into the guy, and they're both stumbling over themselves, and it allows her to do the laugh and tuck the hair behind her ear and do like the little smile. It's what catches his eye. Right? It's a cliche. It's there for a reason.
What you, the listener, cannot see is in this scene, there are the train tracks, like we talked about, actively written in. And then when they're saying the haze, the more exclamation points get added every time. And I don't know, John Cariani did a really great job at describing exactly how you're supposed to say that line.
Right.
And I think if you're an intuitive actor, you can take that and say, well, they would obviously be talking over each other because that's what people do in awkward situations. And then do it just like that. Well, and how awkward would this be? Okay, let's do a section of it. If Jimmy says, "Oh, that's great." Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, you see, like, one, monotone isn't working, but two, like, that all that space is not necessary. That's
I agree.
my thought.
I agree. And when I put some thought and energy into it, we would be really bad podcast hosts if we just said, "Hey, pick up your cues, do better," without leaving you with some tools and tricks that you can use to work on this in your own free time. Gracious, you already said it once. Take it away.
All right, marking. I already mentioned this in your script. If it's not provided for you, which sometimes it is, sometimes like a beat will be in there or it'll say this character has a reaction, in the stage directions. If it's not provided for you, find a time and a place when you would start your line. Find a time and a place when you would recognize that you have something to say. Mark that. And find a time and a place to breathe. Breathe earlier, breathe while they're still talking so that you can start immediately afterward. Yeah. When does it make sense to start your line? Does it require a beat after there? Usually the playwright will write the beats in. So if there's not a beat written in, you most likely don't need a beat unless it's directed that way. I also think that this marking technique really helps me with memorization. It allows you to find keywords to listen for instead of just listening for the last 2 lines and then going into it. It's allowing you to be a more active listener. Like, oh, that line, oh, that's when I react. And then that line is when I breathe. And that line is when I say it.
Number 2, memorize robotically. I've heard it said that memorizing or speaking your lines without emotion can be helpful, as it allows you to speak more authentically when you're performing. Memorizing with inflection can be harmful because you might only say it in that certain way that you've practiced it before. If anybody knows me, they know that I love to go down Reddit rabbit holes. And so actually there is a thread on this, and someone was talking about, and I'm just going to quote him and say that when you do that, when you memorize in a certain way, you endow the words with a particular meaning, and that's a slippery slope. Your line should be said spontaneously and in the moment, in response to whatever is happening in that scene. And if you let the scene organically take you where it wants to, your lines will follow suit. I will say, this technique is not for everyone.
It's a Meisner technique.
It is.
A lot of people like to have consistent, like they say the line the same way every time. And if you find a really good way of saying the line, I don't think that's bad. But Meisner is very involved in being an active listener and allowing things to come authentically. I do think that his techniques allow you to be a more authentic actor.
I agree.
In the moment. Number 3, call and repeat games. We know them. We love them. They do help with warming up. They help with breaking tensions. They allow people to learn a little bit more about each other, and they unify a group. But they are also a great way to help people pick up verbal and physical cues. Because you do it in this group setting, you have to be attentive because anybody could call on you at any given point. And it doesn't single out as an individual. It's a group project, which is, theater is a group project, quite literally. And you just have to be really focused. There are tons of options to choose from. I remember my theater group really liked Bunny Bunny.
Hey Burrito was super popular at my school.
Everyone knows Zip Zap Zop, Whoosh. It all fuses that physical work and the verbal work together, and it allows you to become a more active listener. So pick a game, play it with your group, and that will allow you to kind of practice this in time.
Yeah. Number 4, Italian rehearsals. An Italian run is a rehearsal technique where actors perform their lines and movements at a very fast, almost breathless pace to improve line and cue memorization, timing, and to identify pacing issues. The trick, if you will, is to focus on accuracy, not showing off your speed. I've found scenes to be helpful I found that doing rehearsing just the scenes themselves tend to be more beneficial than running the entire show. A lot of times it just breaks down and there are a lot of Italian hands getting thrown around.
We used to do these in college. They were usually like, do you remember? It was usually during our tech week. We would do what we just called them like speed throughs.
Sure.
But I like the word Italian rehearsal.
It's the professional term. So
that's cool.
They're beneficial for that reason.
They are. 5, role reversal. So another option is to try to get into the head of your scene partner and seeing what it's like from their point of view. As you could view your partner and seeing exactly where they might break, where they might have a thought. So work with that scene partner in the script and read the lines that aren't yours. Pay attention to what it is like when a person pretends to be you. So give someone else an opportunity to say those lines for you.
Correct. I found it to be really helpful. It allows me to get out of my character's head and into someone else's head, see what they're thinking and feeling. And like you said, it makes it a lot easier to identify, oh, that's where I would have responded as my character.
Yeah.
So I agree. Number 6, if all else fails, ask your director. talk to your director about it. I'm sure they will have thoughts on the matter, and they will be happy to steer you in the right direction.
Particularly if you are in educational theater. If you're in high school or college, it is quite literally their job to instruct you on these things.
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah. I did have a final thought on this, and as with all of theater, picking up cues is an art form. Theater is an art. We're not going to figure it out today, and that's okay. We don't need to be perfect today. What we can do is we can practice, and each show will get just a little bit better, and that's what's important.
Keep practicing picking up your cues. You're going to get it, I promise. I think all 4 years of theater, in college, I got the note, pick up
every
your
single
cues
time.
Every single time. I'm still learning. But I think it's a very important principle to learn.
I agree. I really like doing these podcasts with you, Gracious.
What? That's crazy.
Do you want to do another one?
Oh my gosh. Well, guess what? I think we have some planned.
Oh, snap. Hey, guys. If you enjoy what we're making, give us a follow.
If you think what we have to say could be enjoyable for someone else, any of these episodes, share them all. Give us a share. We love it.
If you have something to say, please email us at thethirdAct64@gmail.com. We'll hope you'll join us next week. In the meantime, we know you have some auditions, rehearsals, and performances to go to. So, I don't know. Pick up a book, talk to Meisner, see what he has to say, and
break
a
leg. Pick up a book. Please pick up a book.
That's not an invitation.
That is an order. Go it. Go it.
Go it.
Go it.
Go it.
Do it.